2026 here in Toronto. It's my pleasure to have the CEO of Aurania Resources, Keith Barron, with me here. How are you doing, Keith?
Excellent, super.
Do you have a good show so far?
It's been very busy.
Yes, that's good to know. My first question, obviously, to let the audience know a bit about your background in the company, Aurania Resources.
I'm not accustomed to talking about myself, but I have had some success in this business. I've been in the mining business for over 40 years. I guess my big claim to fame was the founder of the company called Aurania, which went from 30 cents to $43. We've discovered a 13.7 million ounce gold deposit called Fruta del Norte in Ecuador, which is now in production by Lundin Gold. It's one of the richest gold mines in the whole world. Trying to do it again, but in various commodities, more than one. So ask me a question.
Yes. Let's talk about recent updates. Recently, you have made a long payment to the company. Obviously, good is supporting the company's financial position. How does it show that you have confidence in running this company and moving this project forward?
Well, I'm the president and the CEO and chief bottle washer and cook and all the rest of it, but I own 44% of this company, which is very, very unusual for a junior mining company. And I've participated in pretty much every private placement since the company started. I do not take a salary. That is very, very different from every other executive here in the room. So I am very, very fully committed because I'm such a large shareholder. I'm fully committed with the other shareholders to make this a success. If it's not a success for the other shareholders, it's certainly not going to make me any money. So I'm very, very aligned with the shareholders.
Let's talk about some of your recent updates on the project. Recent results from Balangero Nickel Cobalt project highlights its potential as a strategic resource of critical metals in Europe. How do you see this project contributing to Aurania's future growth?
Well, Balangero is quite a unique deposit. It's a mine that operated between 1918 and 1990. It's closed, and they were mining asbestos. Now, back in 1966, it was looked at to see if there was a potential to recover nickel from the asbestos waste, from the waste of the mine. At that time, the nickel price was too low. It didn't make any sense. Today, it's very, very different. You know, nickel is over $17,000 a ton, 17,000 US. And in this case, this is very unique because the metal occurs in a mineral called awaroite. Awaroite is a nickel iron alloy. It has no sulfur in it, unlike other things like deposits up Voisey's Bay, Sudbury, Kambalda in Australia. Very, very different from the lateritic nickel things in Indonesia as well. So this is something that we can actually take the waste from the mine. It's already crushed down to -4 centimeters, and it's been stacked up more than 250 meters high. It's a great big hill of waste. We can take that stuff, we can grind it down, we can extract the metals with magnets. We don't need any chemicals at all. And once the stuff, it's done a wet process just using water. And once we recover the awaroite, all we have to do is dry it, bag it, ship it to the clients, and then receive the check. That's about as simple as it gets. Now, there are other projects looking at similar mineralogy here in Canada. There's one in Newfoundland and there's one in northern British Columbia. The one in British Columbia will need $2.6 billion Canadian to put it in operation. We don't have to do any drilling, any blasting, any shifting of overburden, any mining at all. No extraction. It's already been extracted and it's piled up there. So, you know, the economies, I mean, this is incredible in terms of the savings. So we don't have to go through any of that. It's already sitting there. All we have to do is take down the hill and process it. Now, also what we want to do further along the pipeline is do carbon capture with the rock and destroy the asbestos forever. That's a secondary thing, and we're looking into that in the laboratory today. But we already know that we can recover the nickel minerals without any problem at all. So, we just moved this thing ahead. We're doing a preliminary economic assessment right now, but we've been talking amongst the board of directors, and I think very, very soon after we do that, we'll actually go to a preliminary feasibility study. And the feasibility study is the sort of thing that we need to present to the authorities in Italy and in the EU to get funding. We think a lot of the funding will come from them, the startup funding, to build the plants and get going.
Glad to see the progress from other projects. Do you care to comment anything on Ecuador through a project that you were working on before?
Well, Ecuador, of course, is my baby, and I've been working in Ecuador for more than 20 years. However, they brought in a very, very punitive tax called the TASA last year. And they, in our case, $24 million, which is more money than we care to spend. They threatened to take away the concessions. Now, they haven't done that. We still have things in good standing. I'm going to be meeting with the Ecuador government tomorrow, and we'll see if we can come to some sort of resolution to keep working there. For the time being, though, I'm not throwing money down a hole, so I'm focusing on other places, on our projects here in Europe. Well, not here, I'm in Canada, but our projects in Europe. And I think we can get a much bigger bang for our buck right now, spending that money to move it towards that project in Italy, to move it towards a pre-feasibility.
So what are some of the milestones and catalysts should investors be looking for in the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, certainly we'll have the PEA done, and we might even have a PFS done on that. We're also looking at 2 other jurisdictions to pick up some gold projects. And also we have 3 project areas in Brittany in France. We've received the concessions just before Christmas. So we've told the authorities we're going to wait until the mayoral elections, which will be in the next 15 days, and then we'll start work after that. So that will be coming along pretty soon, and we're quite excited about that. And we have been working in Corsica over the last couple of years, also on an Aurania cobalt nickel project. We kind of shut that down for a little while, but I've been talking just actually this morning with the French Minister for Foreign Investment, and we'll do what we can to revive that and get it going in the right direction.
Final question for you. For the investor point of view, you believe Aurania now is undervalued?
But everyone in the room will say that, right?
Exactly. But why is your company really that undervalued?
Well, we've got so much on the go and so much blue sky potential here. And, with the gold and silver prices the way they are, our French projects are mostly gold, but we're also looking at strategic metals there. And then the other things that we're talking to people about acquiring are gold focused. They're not in France, they're in other countries. But, just watch the space. I mean, the economics, I already know the numbers. I can't share them with anybody, but I know the economics of the potential project in Italy. And that's looking really, really good. That's all I can say about that. Yeah. You're very, very welcome. Happy to do it.